Welcome to Crime Time News, news with a buzz. Now the video that you see presently on your screen is of a Jamaican lady, Celicia Lashana Campbell, 23-year-old that is said to be the main suspect, the only suspect, in the takeaway of a 20-year-old Joanna Branch that is in Barbados, not Jamaica. Based on the information, it is said that this incident took place on or about the 9th of July 2024, a couple of weeks ago. What makes this story even worse is the fact that it is said that that 20-year-old Mrs. Branch was 7 months pregnant at the time in which Miss Campbell juk her up to DEATH. Now, people, I don't know the specifics with what would qualify for a double. The fact that this unborn child was 7 months. 7 months, that means that the next 2 months that child would have been born. However, when we look at the fact that a Jamaican leave from Jamaica, go to Barbados, a place that does not have a whole bunch of crime, maybe a handful, don't quote me on that. What makes this even worse is the fact that on or about June 26, 2024, maybe about a month or so ago, an ex-Jamaican was involved with 3 persons taking away a Barbados citizen's life over some sorts of cargo chain. Pretty much them roll upon him at his house, blaze him up, grab off the chain off of him neck, almost take off him neck. So when we think about the fact that a place that has maybe a handful of takeaway on an annual basis, and Jamaicans were responsible, a part of the conspiracy to take away in the last two out of 2, what is the odds, what is the possibility, what is the probability? How bad does it make Jamaicans look? What is going on in that peaceful country's legislation when them sit down in them parliament and they make laws as it pertains to immigration? Would you be surprised if Jamaicans are blacklisted? Would you be surprised if you go for some sorts of visa for over there and them tell you say you not qualify because you come from a MURDEROUS place? People, like me say, whenever anything like this occurs, these people everywhere in the news, because it is not a very usual thing. It is isolated incident whenever anybody lose them life, especially and specifically the 2 last MURDERS in the people in country is Jamaicans or are Jamaicans. Something is definitely wrong. And when we look at this young lady, we see the bitterness in her heart. We see the bitterness in her face. We see that something is definitely wrong. We take our demonic acts and we take it to other people's country. And these people don't have to put up with our ish. And they should not. So therefore, what is going to happen is that one bad apple is going to spoil the whole bunch. These people are going to make changes in them immigration policy as it pertains to Jamaican probably needing visa for go over there if them don't need it already. And I don't really know the specifics or the motive to why this 23-year-old lady would take away that 20-year-old lady that was pregnant. But knowing Jamaicans, knowing these women like I know them, I bet it is over some sorts of man. I bet somebody was cheating with somebody's man and somebody probably get pregnant. People, me just say, these women out there don't understand that these men, you cannot blame the woman. The woman don't have any sorts of loyalty to you. It is the man that you pick up that is the cheater. So therefore, I am not going to say if you take what the man, me just say. You can't blame the side chick. The side chick is looking out for herself. The side chick is not loyal to you. Point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news, it seems as if Kevin Smith don't pay the JCF enough. It seems as if not even that can scare them straight. it seems as if they have not learned anything from that experience. For those of you that don't know, Kevin Smith was one of those fraudulent pastors that had some sorts of church in Montego Bay, scamming and conning the people. Him decided that he was going to do some sorts of sacrifice of the human beings. A whole bunch of mix-up. He was locked up for several charges, conspiring to take away people's life, conning them, you name it, from A to Z. He was arrested. He was acting as if he was some sort of prophet, false prophets. He was locked up and charged, being transferred from the Montego Bay station to court in a Kingston, or the Kingston Popo station. Driving through the Bagwalk, Flatbridge area, it is said that he caused some sorts of crash. Pretty much, him choked the driver of the vehicle, caused him to lose control, car flip, him dead, and the next Popo lose him life. 2 other officers in there were badly injured. So when that happened, people are say, then hold on a minute. You are transfer criminal and you have to take the little side road them. You couldn't take the toll because there was no sort of agreement with the people who own the toll, Mr. Picapo and the government of Jamaica, specifically the JCF. So persons had concerns about that. Persons had concerns in the way that he was transported, that he did not have his handcuff behind him, so therefore he was able to cause a disaster, a catastrophe. So the people in Jamaica, the sensible people, must say, then hold on a minute. You can't make them big error there. However, people, since then, we've seen a whole bunch of buffoonery taking place as it pertains to the JCF. One specifically was maybe about less than 48 hours ago at the Halfway Tree Popo station, in which businessman, very rich, filthy rich, caused the life of a Popo officer, Mr. Main, and also himself. The businessman's name, the criminal's name, is Mr. Singh. So what we find is that Jamaican JCF, they are brown nosers, meaning them like kiss up, them like kiss asses of rich people. Because based on what we've seen in the past recently, even though these persons are criminals, known to be takeaway people, known to be scammers, known to be crafters, they are getting preferential treatment. They are being held to a different standard. Them almost treat them with kids' glove as if them tenderize them a tenderoni. When the truth and the fact is that everybody as criminals, once you are arrested, once you're being transported, the protocol should apply across the board. However, like me say, these officers seems as if them licky, them seems as if them are said to themselves, maybe me can get some sort of favor from the big man or the big woman. So therefore, them a laugh up, them a giggy, them a skin them teeth with these criminals until it come back and it haunts them, as in the case of Kevin Smith and as in the case of Mr. Singh. Because when I read the comment section in the newspaper and social media in a real life, most persons are saying, me can't believe after the Kevin Smith incident that the JCF is making the same mistakes over and over again. But people like me say, this man, Mr. Singh, had the Popo in his pocket. That man, Mr. Kevin Smith, had links which is political. That means that him in the body club, so therefore membership has its privilege. Such is the case as it pertains to Mr. Singh. Sad song them a play. Point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news. Over the last couple of weeks ago, I've been having discussions with persons that work in the law enforcement overseas, specifically lottery scamming. And the conversations that we've had go something like this. How is it that these youths in Jamaica that are known lottery scammers are on social media posing, bragging, and taunting the victims, taunting law enforcement in Jamaica. How is it that law enforcement in Jamaica actually allows these people to do this without taking a stance? Especially the stuff, the buffoonery that we see on TikTok. So I am going to let you hear a newscast that came on TVJ News maybe less than 24 hours ago, in which a person that is affiliated with the Postal Service, which is a branch that is associated at the U.S. Embassy that is fighting lottery scamming. I am also going to let you hear from Mocha as to what has been done and the progress and who should expect some sorts of extradition back to the United States. Free ticket, no visa needed. Take a listen, take a look, and then I'll give my piece.
For lottery scammers, it's all about big money and big risk. But for U.S. law enforcement, they're aiming for big arrests followed by big convictions.
As far as arrests go, we have done probably 39 extraditions.
In 2017, 8 Jamaicans were extradited and convicted in North Dakota for their involvement in a mail fraud and money laundering network which billed mostly elderly U.S. residents of over $5.7 million. The conviction came after years of investigation which involved tracking the money. Fast forward to 2024, more extraditions are coming. Dominic Riley is the United States Postal Inspection Service attaché for the U.S. Embassy in Jamaica.
And right now we have 6 extraditions for this fiscal year, 3 for this calendar year.
A lot of these scammers, they don't hide. They're all over social media. They are very in your face.
The Federal Trade Commission, FTC, estimates that scammers stole some $3.4 billion from elderly Americans last year. According to the agency, a third of that figure was stolen by Jamaicans.
So you take the average victim, which is about 30,000 victims a year from Jamaica, and you put, say, $20,000, just a number, that's 600 million. So it gets into the ballpark of $1 billion a year.
Even as the authorities ramp up their enforcement efforts, scammers are finding creative ways to solicit money from their victims. So too, moving their money. The U.S. Postal Inspection Service says these methods are evolving.
But at first it was just you did the RIA and the money transmitters, and then they started clamping down on that. They did the green dot, and it was a clamp down on that. And then it started moving to, forensic stuff like Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency. And now it's going back to old-fashioned money muling, where people put money in on their person and travel back to Jamaica with that money. It's also where people send debit cards down and they withdraw that money from debit cards.
And when the money arrives in Jamaica, another problem. The major organized crime and anti-corruption agency MOCA said it's been paying attention to businesses it believes are being used to launder the money.
It's a lot of money coming in. It has to be spent somewhere. It has to be hidden. It has to be laundered somewhere. And so a lot of these criminals get involved with used car dealerships, for example. They get involved in what seems to be legitimate businesses, but they're really a front for money laundering operations to cover lottery scamming. So a lot of the communities where these lottery scamming activities take place, they know the money is coming from illicit trade. They know it's blood money. It's very difficult to police because it gets top cover from the community.
Communications Director Major Baza Jarrett explained that the agency has been using the Proceeds of Crime Act, POCA, to target lottery scammers.
This gives us a lot more latitude to go after suspected scammers. We also take a collaborative approach to how we work.
Now, people, you heard what the people in office say. Over $3.4 billion. Jamaicans responsible for maybe 1/3 of that. So people, we are talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. So that is why when we see these scammers on social media, in all sorts of European ride, all sorts of name brand clothes, glasses, jewelry, watch, you name it, they have it. However, what they don't realize is that a lot of these are leaving paper trail. However, because them revamped the thing, no longer are they sending stuff through Western Union, MoneyGram, wire transfer. They have now transitioned or revamped the thing to crypto and green dots. And now them come back to the basic, meaning that people that live overseas carry the money on some sorts of plane, jump on a plane, reach a Jamaica with some sorts of debit card, not credit card. And then you go to the ATM, US Funds ATM, and you withdraw that money. So therefore, that is how they are bucking the system. However, Mr. Riley, that is associated with the US Postal Service branch of the lottery scamming, said that, don't worry, we have trails same way. We have purses under surveillance same way. As a matter of fact, there are several individuals or group of individuals that are on our watch list. It is just a matter of time. However, the problem that they have is that they are working with a team in Jamaica and respect to Mocha. However, it is like working persons that are physically and mentally challenged. The team is lacking because of the side of the Jamaican. So basically, because I'm have to go through the Jamaican authority, it is like a hindrance. It is like working with some RETARDS. And people, don't you notice most of the time when you see these videos on social media, specifically TikTok, 90% of the time, or majority of the time, the vehicles always have some sorts of blue plate. So you say to yourself, isn't that dealership plate? That means that vehicle is not registered to the person that is driving the vehicle. So you hear the people them from Mocha make you know, say, listen, we are clamping down. We know that these persons are rinsing the money and claim, say, them are some sorts of used car dealership. However, we are hip to that. But even though them know, said the people them are watch them, they are still out there exalting themselves. But people like I've always said, he that exalted himself shall be abased. O-C-A-K-A, abate. Point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news, a couple of hours ago, I got some sorts of message on WhatsApp that there was some sorts of DRIVE by at a place called Chill Spot Bar that is in downtown Kingston. Now people, when you hear the name Chill Spots, if you're not from that era and if you're not comfortable with certain environments, I don't know what can be chill about any place in a downtown. As a matter of fact, I was having a conversation with a couple of persons overseas the other day. And I tell them, say, they don't know, say, me used to always go to Coronation Market until me and the person that used to go together get robbed at gunpoint, and then we decide, listen, maybe it might be a good idea, since we're not really broke, we just continue to go to one of those expensive supermarkets as in Megamart or the others and buy our stuff. Because even though we are saving a whole lot of money going to the Coronation Market, sometimes you cannot be penny wise and pound foolish. So I say this to say that, and not to discourage anybody from going to any sort of place in any sort of environment. However, they are called volatile communities for the reasons. And the reason being that anything can pop off at any time. Such is the case in a chill spot where it is said that there was some sorts of DRIVE by one individual got caught up. He was staying to the KPH. Don't know his status as we speak. So like them say, those who know better, do better. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like these, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. And last but not least, Please subscribe to my next channel. It is called Jamaica Dancehall Source. I'll be pinning the link to that channel in the description of this video. Bless up.